Hi, I'm Gema and I suffer from severe chronic fatigue, and in today's video we're going to discuss all the alternative therapies that I try for my chronic fatigue that have not worked, so you don't have to try them if you don't want to. This video is part 2 from the series that I started last week about remedies that did not work for chronic fatigue, and last week I discussed all the supplements that I tried for chronic fatigue that did not work at all and probably were scams. So today's video is about alternative therapies that were probably also scams that I tried, so you don't have to. Okay, so the first one that I tried was acupuncture, and I went, I think, for 3 months. The first month I think I went once a week. Second month I think I started going twice a week, and then the third month or so I went 3 times a week. Why did I go for so long? Because I was expecting that at some point it would actually work, and it didn't work. And he kept telling me, okay, maybe we need to increase the sessions to twice a week, 3 times a week, and after 3 months of nothing, I've decided to quit. I do have to say that I normally felt a little bit of a peak of energy the day after having the acupuncture done, but it will wear off so quickly. It would be like one day of feeling a little bit better after the session and then nothing. So obviously I quit because I went on for 3 months and it did not actually make a significant change in my fatigue. So not worth it for me. I will not do it again. Also because I hate needles, and I went through that expecting that maybe my fatigue, which was severe and it was very much at the beginning of my condition, I thought maybe this could help because medicine had not given me any solution for my fatigue and other issues that I had. So I tried because I was desperate, and I keep trying things because, yeah, it goes on. Another thing that I tried this time, very much also recommended to me, was Chinese medicine. So Chinese medicine was like herbs, crackling bones, and also acupuncture. So I gave another try to acupuncture because I was told that in a combination with other things, it would probably work. I went once a week for 4 weeks. And the Chinese doctor was also very surprised after the first week that I felt zero improvement. Absolutely zero improvement. This time I was way sicker than the first time I've tried acupuncture, and I did not feel any relief, not even a little bit of energy or peak of energy the next day. I felt nothing. And I was drinking 6 liters a week of this horrible thing, horrible herbs. I have to boil myself in a specific manner and drink how much did I have to drink? 2 liters a day for 5 days. No, I don't remember. 1 liter a day for a week. And it was disgusting. It was horrible. It was terrible. But obviously, if it may work, I would try it, no matter how bunker it is or how horrible it is. I would try it because I was very desperate, and sometimes I'm still very desperate. So, acupuncture, Chinese medicine, no, I'm never gonna try them again. No, thank you. I hate needles. I don't want to go through that again. It did nothing for me. Another thing that was recommended to me by my neurologist was yoga to help me with my chronic fatigue and other issues that I had just developed 3 years ago. So I gave it a try. It was very much the beginning of my condition, and yeah, it was really nice, very relaxing. I really liked yoga, but it did not help me at all with my fatigue and with any of the other issues that I have, like collapsing on the floor without passing out completely because I'm actually awake, but I cannot move. And it happened every single time that I was in yoga class. Every single time I will end up on the floor, unable to move. Or sometimes we just like my arm wouldn't work, my legs wouldn't work. So I was going through yoga, enjoying yoga, despite being a trigger for me collapsing on the floor. But I did. I went, I tried it. It did not help with my fatigue. It did not help with any of my issues that I have. So at some point I decided that it's very nice doing yoga, but it's doing nothing for my health. So I stopped doing yoga. I may do yoga another moment of my life because I did enjoy yoga. It was really relaxing, very nice, very calming. It's nice, but it does nothing for me and my chronic fatigue and my health issues. So Next, at some point, after a few years of no diagnosis and no improvement and actually getting worse, I started to get really anxious and really desperate for an answer, and I tried absolutely anything. So this is the most bunker things that I've tried for my fatigue, because I just was given to give them just a try, because I was desperate enough to try anything. So I try shaman. I think that's how you say it, shaman. In Spanish, chaman. I don't know if that's the way you say it, but I went to a shaman. Woman, actually. I went to a woman, and it was a really interesting experience. Very nice, like discovering another culture. So it was very interesting in that aspect, and it was interesting. I enjoyed the session. I only went once. Did I feel anything? No, absolutely not. It did not make any difference in my fatigue or in my symptoms. It did absolutely nothing. But was it an interesting experience? Yes. I enjoyed that experience. It was really interesting. Will I do it again? Me. Not for my fatigue or my condition. It was an interesting cultural experience for me and nothing else. But I try. I give it a try. Because I give a try to absolutely everything, because I'm desperate enough. Another thing that I almost tried, also when I was very desperate, was homeopathy. So I went to a homeopathy doctor and was telling me a few things, testing, blah, blah, blah. And at some point said to me that every day, whenever I remember, I have to think about my saliva, creating more saliva, and saying to myself, my mouth is full of saliva, very fluid and very wet saliva, or something like that. And at some point I went, this is bananas. This is bonkers. Why am I here? Why is this supposed to cure me? Why thinking about my saliva is supposed to cure me? And also I was supposed to take some things. And after that session I was like, no, this isn't going to help. I tried so many things. I mean, I've only tried these 4 weird things. And I said, no, I'm not gonna give this a try. I really don't want to give this a try. So I've almost tried homeopathy, but I was just like, this is just too bonkers. And I had at that point already tried the shaman, so I could have give it a try. But I don't know. I didn't have enough trust that this would be the thing that actually helped me after all the things that I've tried, all the supplements and all these alternative therapies. I just didn't want to give it a try one more time to get disappointed and spend a lot of money. One thing that I have not tried that has been suggested to me, and again, I'm really worried about it, so I don't want to do it. It's magnetic therapy. I haven't tried. I don't know. Have you tried magnetic therapy? Has it worked for you? Actually, have you tried any of these things, or any alternative therapies, or any herbs, or anything that has worked for you? Has it worked? Did it work for your fatigue? What's your fatigue level? Please tell me on the comments so you can share all this knowledge and I can also learn more and maybe try something else, and maybe also other people can benefit from my experience and your experience if you leave it on the comments below. There's one thing that has actually worked several times. I know you're gonna be very worried about this. Probably you won't want to try it. You're gonna think that this is gonna make your symptoms worse and your fatigue worse. That is swimming. Okay, I'm gonna make a video all about the swimming and my experience and everything about it. That will be next week, and I'll talk everything about the only thing that has actually worked for my fatigue. No supplements, no alternative therapies. Swimming has actually been the thing that has actually worked for me. And that's all for this week. I hope you tune in next week to hear about my experience with swimming. Okay, have a nice day. Bye.